always listening to it. So she introduced me to that, and I know what music can do for people. I mean,
right. You listen
any stage
to it no matter what mood you're in, to change your mood or to enhance your mood, you know?
Right. It really enhances, it really changes. And, you know, what's interesting is I know that Prospect Park, I know Jeff Quantinitz was a huge, he's actually Ice Cube's manager. And he's really, I mean, that's where his background comes from, his music. And I know that they're going to do a huge push in terms of incorporating music into All My Children. So that's going to be really exciting as well. We have a bunch of cast members who are very musically adept and inclined and have, you know, can sing and play instruments. So I think that's going to be a big deal as well.
Right.
Which, you know, I would imagine the audience would take to. I don't really know a lot of people who don't like music, so let's see.
I know. I can't think of one single person that doesn't listen to some type of music, and I'm pretty much like you. I'll listen to just about everything. Yeah. There's, you know, a few things I'm not crazy about, but the majority of it I do love, and I support indie music, and that's why I have my music show, which is a separate show from this. And
what's the name of that show?
Take Two Radio Music.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Right.
I like to keep it under the Take Two umbrella. And so I play all types of indie music as well as interview the artists to get them, you know, some promotion for their bands.
That's great.
And gigs.
And I would imagine that, you know, our perfect day is going to start out. We're really going to start by highlighting the daytime audience and their stars. I mean, because these are the people, hopefully, that are going to support us. We're getting a lot of support right now, and we really think that this is going to be a success in our crowdfunding in Indiegogo. So we're going to start there. But after, you know, after this, we're going to take off and we're going to do athletes, we're going to do musicians, and because everyone that I know that has some kind of you know, celebrity status, what have you, they have charities, and rightly so. I mean, you know, say what you want. You're not a role model. You are a role model. But what you can do is do something and change. You have that kind of availability to make a change. So a lot of these people, they're really involved with charities, and that's something that I really want to highlight with everybody. You know, and I think incorporating a fan into that is it's a win-win.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And I have to thank you and people like you that are able to do things like this and to give back to society and to fans.
We can't do it without the fan support. Number one, and I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to do it. I'm already seeing the numbers, and I think we're going to get there. And I've told everyone, I've responded to everyone saying that, you know, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time, and whatever donation it is, if it's a penny, I appreciate it. But taking the time and effort to do it and believing in me and believing in this project. You know, I've gone behind certain things before that, you know, I really didn't have my heart completely in, or I got into it for the wrong reasons. You know, I'm completely convinced this is going to work. I'm completely convinced that's going to say something about society, and it's going to be something that'll inspire people at the end of the day. That's it. At the end of the day, you know, that's what we want. So if we watch something, I don't think I don't know. Sometimes, you know, I'll get in my head if I'm watching something that I know I shouldn't be watching, that's just like not doing anything for me, and I'm just like, really? Well, what did I just waste half an hour for watching this?
True. Yeah.
You know, really, what am I doing? Come on, I gotta be doing something different.
Yeah.
So we'll see. You know, and something
and
like
a lot of times you can't sit back and let other people do things that you've thought about. You know, if you really truly believe in doing something, then you should go ahead and start it.
Well, yeah, and that exactly, Pam, and that brings me to this point of what is going on with crowdfunding. There has been incredible stories right now happening in crowdfunding. I don't know, do you know who Kristen Bell is?
Kristen Bell. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. She had a show called Veronica Mars. I worked with Kristen Bell. I did a short film with her, and her and the creator had this idea of making a Veronica Mars movie. So she started her own Kickstarter, and she raised like $4 million to do her movie. She didn't rely on a studio. She didn't rely on private funds or investors. She relied on the fans and people who were willing to kind of purchase whatever she had on her page. Zach Braff just did it last, I think, a week ago, and he raised $2 million doing it. And these are movie stars who have huge fan bases. So now
and Kristen did hers in like 24 hours or something like that. I mean, and got over in the above.
Crazy. So now it's like, I think it's actually making, studios, networks, and whoever kind of shaking in their boots a little bit, saying,
of course.
Wait a minute. Not only do these people have the internet, which I could buy a page and just direct all my traffic over there and say, hey, check out this YouTube video, and then go visit the site. Not only do I have that, but I have accessibility to funds and to raising funds. So if someone's contacting me on Facebook saying, I want to bring Guiding Light back, well, if that's your dream and that's what you want, start a petition, start a Facebook group, and start a Indiegogo fundraiser and see if you can do it.
Right.
I'm all for that.
Right. I am too. I'm so happy to see so many of them out there for such good reasons, and then I get sad once in a while when some of them fall through because
Yeah. Well, listen, it is what, and that's why I'm contacting everybody and their mothers, so that ours doesn't fail. I'm really determined to make this thing a success, and I think everybody in our camp. I have great people around me. It's also a big thing that I've learned being in this business, and I think it's true for any business. You have to have people around you that are going to be straight up with you, call it as it is, and help you along the way and help you grow. And I have that in my partners in Paos Revolution. These people are really passionate. They understand. First off, they understand my craft and what I do. They also understand what it takes to kind of put yourself out there. They understand fans and the genre. So that's very important to me. And it's really funny because we've had this idea for years, but it's just so happened, and I find it very serendipitous that it happens when All My Children is launching, and Autism Awareness Month is April, and that's when we launched.
Right.
And we're actually coming on the heels of it now. It's ending today, and hopefully I'll send out a couple. I have quite a list of people that I need to reach on my list. So, we're going to keep going into the month of May, and see what happens.
Yeah, and also to our listeners, even if you can't donate, like you said, even a penny helps because those pennies add up. If you think about the times you see them walking down the street, you see a penny. If you pick them all up, you'd have quite a bit of money after quite a few years. But this way, even if you can't do that, at least help promote it to people that can donate. For as little as $5, you get a thank you and an autism bracelet, and that $5 is going to mean the world to somebody that has autism and to their families.
Absolutely. It's going to be very intimate. It's going to be a very intimate perspective. From what I hear, Jane is a hell of a mother, and she really, she was from what Jess told me, she was a huge fan of mine from Guiding Light. And, it should be, I'm excited. I'm excited to meet her and her son and her family and just see what happens, and really kind of, I have a cousin who's autistic as well, and kind of I've seen, what they've gone through, but I've never spent, a day and really kind of with someone and really kind of getting to know what that's like,
Right.
So.
Well, I'll invite you here for a day, and you'll go out of the house pulling your hair.
Yeah? Is he there right now?
No, he's actually outside.
How old is he?
He's 16. He'll be 17 in, oh my gosh, when you got 4 kids, you have to think, June.
June what?
June 24th.
Oh, so he's a Cancer, like my brother. That's funny.
Yeah.
And my wife.
Yeah.
So did
my
you
oldest
go to school?
one is a Cancer, too. Yeah,
he goes to school?
Yeah, he's been in special education schools since he was 3 years old, because with having the 3 previous children, you know what's normal and what's not. And so I kept saying something to my doctor, and this is another thing I'm going to tell people. You know, don't always take your doctor's word on things. If you think something is wrong, you feel that strong about it, keep going until you get somebody to listen to you, because that's what I had to do. And it took me 2.5 years to finally get somebody to listen to me, and I found this program where they would test the children for different areas like that. And he was tested, and that's when I found out part of his problems at that time with his fine motor skills and his speech. He wasn't speaking. He was still almost 3 and saying, you know, mama, dada, baba kind of thing, you know. And so after I had him tested, they said, well, your school district is responsible for giving your child an education starting at the age of 3 because of his problems. So I contacted the school district and, you know, we got everything signed up and put him in at the age of 3. And when he got to the next grade level for his age, which would be for age of 4, you know, he was doing so many more things that he couldn't do before. And I think to myself, if I would have waited, because my doctor kept saying, wait, give him time. He's just, you know, a little bit slower than other kids. It's not a big deal. You can't always compare your children, blah, blah, blah. If I would have waited, you know, he would have gone into kindergarten still probably saying mama, dada, you know.
Wow.
And I'm just so grateful that I do have the common sense to keep moving forward when I need something done.
Sure. And was the therapies helpful, or is he still doing therapies? Yeah.
He still has therapy, yeah. Yeah, he still has to see like a social worker, and because besides having the pervasive developmental disorder, he has oh my gosh, what do they call it when you're up and down?
Oh, bipolar.
Bipolar, thank you. That was just diagnosed recently, so he's on medications, but he also goes to therapy, a lot of therapy. He goes to therapy in school, and he goes to therapy outside of school.
Busy mom.
Yeah,
busy mom.
Yeah, more like busy dad now, but yeah.
Busy dad?
Yeah, because unfortunately, I'm not going to go long into this, but I've become disabled over the last 2 years, so I can't do as much as I used to do. So my husband has taken over a lot of those duties.
Sure. My dad became disabled as well. I get it. I mean, I get it. You know,
yep.
I'm learning so much about this and family, and you know, being a new father and a husband, and you know, listen. It's, you know, I know it's the 21st century, but I'm still kind of old school, and I want to, you know, my wife is, you know, working as well, but it's like I want to be the breadwinner, and I want to, you know, provide for my family, and nowadays it really kind of takes 2 people, you know, because things are kind of the way that they are.
It takes 2 people at home, and it takes 2 people outside the home.
Yeah, especially, you know, in terms of instilling your values and what you want. You know, it's a lot. You know, even yesterday we had my sister-in-law had her teacher here because she homeschools, and she was telling us how important it is to have the baby on the floor, crawling, touching things, you know, developing all her skills, and, you know, just constantly. And I'm like, from the morning, you know, like a trainer with her. I'll get her out, put her on all fours, doing belly time, you know, flipping herself over, you know, doing all that stuff.
How old is she now?
She's 5 months.
5 months, okay.
And she is insanely adorable. She's,
of course.